Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we will be reacting to 3 scary animated short stories. This is Wanty Entertainment's YouTube channel and video. I give full credit to him. Let's get into the video. Oh, I didn't say my hello intro.
A few days ago, I went to a Macy's store with my mother and son to go check out some jewelry. While my mom was checking out jewelry, I noticed an old man around his 50s come near us. He was about 8 feet from us. At first, I thought he was just a random customer checking something out for his lady or something. Then, from the corner of my eye...
You think that man... Look at that face. You think that man has a lady? Do you? I don't. I don't at all.
I noticed he was just standing there without moving and looking at us. It made me feel uncomfortable, so I turned around, moving the stroller, which my toddler was in, because I didn't want him looking at my baby. I turned my eyes to look at him again, and I could see that he was just staring at me with a creepy look. He was staring at me and my baby.
Security! Security! Hello? Anyone? Yeah, that man right there. That man right there.
Then, all of a sudden, he grinned widely at us.
Oh! Security! Security! Hello? Yeah, please. Hello? Security! Yeah, that man right there. Oh my gosh! What is that?
The weirdest thing about him was that he was wearing women's shoes and a scarf, and also holding a dress in his hand. He opened his mouth and tried to say something. I couldn't hear what he was saying, but I could read his lips. I like you. I like your baby. I just thought the...
Ew! He said, okay, I like you, I like your baby. First of all, it's just creepy. You should probably take a butt lick.
I like your baby.
What is... Look at his tongue. Look at his tongue. Oh my gosh. No. Spare me, please. What is that? What is that? I don't even want to... Oh my goodness.
I just thought the man was a weirdo. And then my mom also noticed that he was odd and creepy. He saw that my mom was glaring at him, so he walked away. But then he appeared on the opposite.
That didn't look like he walked away. That looked like he, now you see me, now you don't, away. And now he's on the other side of the mall. How?
Side of us, and started staring at me again. This time, he pulled his phone.
He's taking a picture.
And made it seem like he was about to take a picture. He was staring at us, and his eyes opened widely.
Ew.
He was smiling like a crazy psychopath. That was enough. I wanted to go up to him and tell him to get away from us, but I had my boy with me and didn't want anything to happen, so I chose to just get out of there. I told a lady who was working there what happened. She said that she would go take a look at him. A few minutes later, she came back and told us that he was a customer who has been reported before by other people. My mom asked,
"Why hasn't he been kicked out then?"
Well, because he hasn't threatened or hurt anyone, so the store doesn't have a good enough reason to kick him out. My mom and I were
pissed off
because obviously the man is just there to harass people. She told us that he said something creepy to her and also made her uncomfortable. She told us that when she went to go ask him what he was up to, he told her that he went to the store to return a dress. He decided that he didn't like that he bought it for his lady. He told her with a smile, "Yeah, I need to change quickly because she's cold now." My mom and I instantly felt so creeped out, so we just left. What did that mean? Could he have been hiding a dead body back at his place? A few days later, and I feel relieved that the crazy guy didn't harm us. But I'm still wondering what he meant by, "She's cold now."
Yeah, he was dead. Okay, waiting for the title. Alright. narration, the true horror story about the man who stuck into our house.
This story happened in the summer of 2017 when I was 10 years old. My older brother and I had a babysitter, and she was around the age of 17.
Nice.
Since my mom was home on Tuesdays, the babysitter would come on the other weekdays.
Ooh.
Most days when she babysat, we
Chin.
would go to the neighborhood pool, hang out, and eat lunch there. Then we went back home and my mom would arrive a bit later at around 5:30 in the evening. On one Thursday, the day was just an ordinary one and the babysitter came around 8 in the morning. A few hours later, we decided to head to the pool and eat lunch. We all got ready and headed out the door. As I used to be a little paranoid back then, every time I went outside, I made sure I locked the door and would immediately turn the doorknob and try to open it to make sure it was locked. The door was definitely locked, so we walked to the pool and swam for a while. Then we decided to head back to the house.
Ew.
When we got home, I pulled out the key from my bag, but I noticed that the door was a crack open. I pushed it, and the door swung open. A little chill ran down my spine as I remembered that I made sure the door was locked before leaving. My babysitter had a frightened look on her face too. But my stupid brother thought nothing of it and just walked right in, so we followed him. About my house, when you walk into the house, to the right is an entryway to the living room,
Idiot.
and straight ahead is a hallway to the kitchen. The stairs are to the right of the hallway, and you can see the upstairs railing from the entrance. We walked into the kitchen and set our stuff down, and I went to go lock the door. After I shut it, I turned back around to go back to the kitchen, but something caught my attention at the corner of my eye. Looking up at the railing, I could see the silhouette of someone crouched behind a tall, narrow floor fan. I looked a little closer, and I could see their eyes. They were wide open and were staring directly at me. I
You
was
should have called the
frozen in
police.
fear and couldn't move.
You should have called the police the second you saw the dude. You should have called the police. The dude? No. You should have called the police when you saw the door open. You should have. Why people in these movies don't know what anything
All
is?
I could do was stare back at them, not knowing if it was a man or woman. My babysitter called for me to come to the kitchen, and the figure slowly walked into a nearby room and disappeared. I ran into the kitchen, telling my babysitter and brother what I saw. At first, they didn't believe me, but then, all of a sudden, we were all silent as we heard slow footsteps creaking from upstairs.
Why is the no? I would understand if the brother said that because he was the one who was like, it doesn't really matter. But the babysitter, she saw the door open too, and she was scared. I don't think that makes sense.
She quietly grabbed both her phone and a kitchen knife and ushered us to the back door. She slowly turned the doorknob and tried to not make any noise while opening the door. We made it to the backyard and she was going to call 911 on her phone. But before she could, we heard a tapping sound coming from one of the windows on the second floor.
Oh, heck
So we all looked up, and then we saw him. He was a man,
Ew,
late
looks like a
50s,
cute child.
short black
That
hair, eyes still wide open,
shirt?
staring
I
at
love that
us. He was pushing the blinds out of the way, so we saw his face very clearly.
Hi, done.
We screamed and started running to the gate on the side of the backyard. The babysitter dropped her phone while scared, so I picked it up and ran behind her. I dialed 911, told them our address, and explained to the operator what just happened. Told us to go to a nearby neighbor's house and stay there until the cops arrive. We rang a doorbell a few times, and one of our neighbors, who was retired, came outside. He let us in, and we explained what happened as we were looking out of the window. Then we saw 3 cop
Bro,
cars
hold on
pulling
one
up.
second. Hold on 1 second. My sister's watching her show in the room. Let's continue with the video, please.
And the cops were surrounding my home. 3 cops headed in through the front door and investigated our house. We went outside to tell them that we were okay, and the other police officers started questioning us. Soon the cops came back after finding nothing and doing a thorough investigation. They told us it would be best to not stay home, as the person may come back. So the babysitter said we could go to her house, which is about a mile away. Just then, we heard our neighbors screaming from down the street. A few
Dang.
houses down, a policeman's car was set on fire and was smoking a lot. The cops spotted a man running past the corner down towards the end of the street. One officer took us to the babysitter's house, while the other 3 went after that man.
Get him!
We later found out that the man had gotten away, so he never got arrested. Our parents arrived home as they were contacted by the police and freaked out. Later that night, we came back to the house and we searched the whole place to see if anything was missing. A cash box that was stored in my parents' bedroom was missing, but we didn't report it since the man was never found. I have no
Why?
idea who that
Makes no
was
sense.
or how he opened our front door. I still wonder to this day what would have happened if I never noticed the man. He could have done something to us while we were sleeping. I still feel uneasy sometimes when I'm home alone.
Who was that? Ew! Ew! Okay, welcome to the third animation video. Let's do it. Let's do it.
It all started one summer afternoon in August. My best friend Mike invited me to his house. Mike was the type of kid you'd call a nerd. He always got
Yeah,
good grades,
boys.
wore glasses, had freckles, and believed in things like dragons and magic.
Yeah, boy.
One of Mike's favorite things to do
That's
was
me.
performing magic for me. Every time I'd come over, he'd perform magic. But this magic trick, though,
Impossible.
would be the one that I'd never forget. When I got to Mike's house, he said,
Oh, he
"I have a
learned.
new magic trick to show you, and it's the best one."
Oh,
grabbed my hand and we went into the
learned in
living-
dark. He learned in the dark magic. He's learning the dark magic. Oh no. He's learning the dark magic. That's not good. Oh no.
Room where he had a large box in front of his family photo. It was all 4 of his family members in that picture: Mike, Josh, and his mom and dad. The box was about his size, so we could fit in it, and his older brother Josh was standing next to it. So I sat down on a couch and Mike started introducing the name of his magic trick. It was called the Vanishing.
The van.
Josh opened the door to the large box where nothing was inside, and Mike walked in. After Josh closed the door
Yeah,
again,
he vanishes.
he then
and
said
he
some
does-
weird words and then yelled,
He done it.
"Poof!" Josh slowly opened the box, and Mike was no longer in it. However, I was in the 7th grade, so I was smart enough to know that under the box was a trap door so he could climb down out of it. So I looked down at the bottom of the box, but to my surprise,
Huh?
nothing was there. No door, no secret, no Mike. Just at that moment, my mom called and said that I need to come home right now. I said bye to Josh, grabbed my backpack, and yelled, "Nice trick, Mike. Gotta go." Everything was fine, just until the next day. The next day, Mike didn't invite me, but I thought of going to his house again. I ran up to his house, stood in front of the door, and rang the doorbell 3 times. His dad came out and said, "Oh, hello. Nice to meet you." He acted like
What?
that he'd never seen me before. It was weird, but I asked, "Good afternoon, sir. Is Mike home?" Then I could see his confused face, and he answered, "Mike? Who is Mike?" I felt stupid at that moment, as if I had come to the wrong house. I then quickly asked, "Your son Mike, you have 2 sons. During explaining the situation, I felt irritated, so I pushed him to the side to get into the living room. Josh, I said, pointing to the photo, and then my eyes widened. Mike wasn't in the photo. I was pointing to nothing, which would have been where Mike should be standing in that picture. I panicked and I couldn't
He's gonna
believe
be
what
like
was
a
going on here.
trick.
I then
It's gonna be like a trick. Like his whole family's in on it. Yeah, that's what's probably it.
said, "You're your son, Mike. He has good grades and he's good at magic." Oh, the box.
Oh, the box.
I thought that everyone was playing a prank with me or something, but he looked extremely confused and even terrified. He looked at me as if I was some kind of lunatic. So I ran upstairs to check the box, and I opened the door thinking that I must be dreaming. The room was full of bookshelves and beanbags, all in a circle. It was just a cozy reading room. I was horrified. I kept saying, "No, it can't be," over and over. That moment, Josh came in the room. I thought, this is the last chance. I quickly took out my phone thinking that I could remind Mike to them by showing selfies that I took with Mike before. However, just when I did, he was in none of the pictures. The one where I gave him a hug, where we went to the other friend's birthday party and took a picture with the clown, nothing was there. It was like he never even existed before. And I felt that moment was like a nightmare. To this day, there is literally no one who remembers Mike in my town. I still can't believe what happened to Mike, but I definitely believe that Mike is real,
I thought I had to.
and he must be somewhere.
Oh no, Mike. Nice. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That last part was hilarious. Make sure you like and subscribe to this video. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, buds.